Hello and welcome to Dungeon Arcade. I didn't have you pulled up, Alex, so I was like, why did he go quiet? I wasn't looking at your camera. Man, that was a fun energy to start with. My name is Adam. You know me as your friendly neighborhood DM. This week we've finished our arc on Discworld, and moving forward, we want to be playing a couple different role-playing games. There's a bunch of systems out there, and we really think that there are a lot of them that are super interesting, and we want to see how well they play. So going forward, Dungeon Arcade is going to be kind of loosey-goosey in the structure of its storytelling. And this week, we're going to be playing a game called Lasers and Feelings, which was a game developed by John Harper for OneSevenDesigns as an homage to the song Lasers and Feelings by the Double Clicks, which is a wonderful song. Highly recommend listening to it. Just a good time. But this week, we're going to be playing this game with three of my friends, Alex, Amy, and Ben. We're going to introduce a couple characters really quick, and then we'll explain how the game works. Let's start with Alex. Alex, can you give us the name of the character you're going to be playing, the style and role, a brief physical description, and your character's goal?
Absolutely. I will be playing Spud 16. Spud, of course, as everybody in this universe would know, is an acronym for Security Pilot and Utility Droid. This is a very popular model that is manufactured and bought very frequently, and 16 is its call number. So Spud 16, he's an android pilot, and he, much to his chagrin, must accompany his fleshly cohorts on this mission, and he's really just in it for the coin. Wants that sweet cash, and will do whatever it takes to get that so that he can retire in robotic luxury.
All about those credits.
He doesn't like flesh folk, because he is a robot, if that wasn't clear.
He was a robot. So just to run through in more of the terms of the role-playing sheet that we have, Spud 16 is an android. Oh, I'm throwing pens. He's an android. He is a pilot, which android is his style and pilot is his role. His name is Spud 16, and your goal is to get paid, right? That's
get rich.
Get paid. Yeah, let's go with Ben. Ben, how are you doing?
I'm good.
You want to introduce to us your character, their name, the style, role, physical description, and their goal?
Yes. So I will be playing Mauve Gumby. He is, if just a physical description, a bit like regular Gumby, except mauve. For those of you not familiar with Gumby, he is very malleable. He's very flat, but his eyes kind of bug out a little bit. He looks a little bit like a Sorn, if you've come across those. And he is bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and he is just out there to explore. And he is just flying by the seat of his pants, following his feelings, and just trying to make a name for himself in this big world.
Oh, I love this so much.
I love that literally you're just a mauve-colored Gumby.
Yeah.
But also the name Mauve Gumby is like a great space name.
Yeah, if you maybe like you slur it a little bit, Mauve Gumby.
Yeah.
Is there a world of Gumbies in this universe that
There are. They're
okay.
not all mauve. Mauve is
right.
Is my identifier.
It's your identifier.
There's a rainbow of Gumbies.
I was gonna say, are there only as many Gumbies as there are colors to be distinguished? Or
there's as many Gumbies as there are Pokies, and there are many Pokies. So.
Well, we're already building the Gumby deep lore.
The deep lore. Honestly, this is what the podcast is about now.
We could be here all night.
So in more game lingo, the style that Ben's gonna be playing is Alien. The role that he is playing is oh no, sorry. Well, yeah, you decided to play two styles, didn't you, Ben?
Yeah,
because you're Alien and Hotshot.
correct. Yeah.
Because it felt like one of those things wasn't really a style as much as the other.
Right. The Alien's more of the descriptor. The
Right.
Hotshot is kind of the style.
Right. Yeah. Hotshot's more your style. The role you're going to be playing, you're the explorer, correct?
Correct.
And then your goal, I'm assuming just based off what you said, is to like find new worlds. It's just that.
Just to explore, to reach the ends of the earth and find something new.
Love it. Love Mauve Gumby. And finally, the third player on our podcast, her name is Amy. Amy, can you give us a brief description of your character, the style role that they're going to be playing, a brief physical description, and the goal that your character has? And before you start, I will say Mauve Gumby's a pretty tough act to follow. I think this one's my favorite still.
Oh, okay. I will be playing Amy, who is a savvy doctor, a PhD doctor. She's 5'4", your average Earth girl, wears some Earth tones, and the goal is to make friends and increase flourishing throughout the galaxy.
So wholesome.
Wow. Indeed.
So wholesome. I love it. Now, we didn't talk about this before, but obviously Alex has some experience playing role-playing games. Ben, do you have any experience playing role-playing games?
I've done like a campaign with family in D&D a long time ago in like middle school. So I'm a noob. First timer here.
And Amy, I know that you've played with us for a single game before.
Yes.
I'm assuming you haven't played elsewhere.
No.
Okay. So we have two fairly fresh new players and a veteran of the sport, Alex, in this one. So Lasers and Feelings is a very simple RPG, and that's kind of the reason why we asked two people who hadn't really played RPGs before to jump in on this one, because it's pretty easy to get into. The way it works is the only dice that's going to be rolled is a D6, up to 3 of them. And you are either rolling lasers or feelings. Now, basically what that means is if you're rolling lasers, that means that you are doing something that is based in technology, science, cold, calm, precise actions. And if you're doing something that's feelings, it means you're going off of intuition, diplomacy, passionate actions. So it doesn't mean that, and this is kind of a confusing thing about it off the bat, is it doesn't mean that just because you are a very aggressive person, it doesn't mean that you can't be high on the feelings scale. What it means is, are you the kind of person who rushes into the action, in which case you're high in feelings, or are you the type of person who hangs back, studies what's happening, and then decides, you know what? I'm gonna do a better. I'm gonna figure out a better way to approach this.
Adam clearly more empathizes with the feeling side of things based on his inability to explain the laser side.
I got a text in the middle of that, and it like really threw me off. I don't know what. It was in the flow. Everyone is going to be riding on on a spaceship. According to the rule book, it's the Interstellar Scout Ship Raptor. Do we want to be playing on the Raptor, or do we want to make up our own spaceship? Is the first question I have for our characters.
I think we've got to make up our own ship.
Let's do it.
All right, give me a name for your spaceship then.
How about we do it? You know that like game where you tell a story like a word at a time. How about I say the first word, and then Amy says the second word, and then Ben says the third word, and that's the name of the ship.
Okay.
Interstellar.
Really chose the easy first word, huh?
Indigo.
Vindicator.
Yes.
The Interstellar Indigo Indicator.
Vindicator.
Vindicator. I was like, why are we all going with these IN names? Vindicator. Okay. What are we vindicating?
Mostly Dashboard Confessional.
Yes.
Mostly Dashboard Confessional. I love it. So in order to build our spaceship, well, first of all, everyone has a consortium uniform. It's a built-in vac suit for spacewalks, a super sweet space phone camera communicator scanner thing that has universal translator, and a variable beam phase pistol, which is normally set to stun, but it can be set to kill. Your ship, however, needs 2 strengths and 1 problem. The 2 strengths, the list that you can pick from is fast, nimble, well-armed, powerful shields, superior sensors, cloaking device, or fighter craft. Which 2 do we want to describe our ship with?
It seems like so Spud 16's whole deal here is that he like is likely being hired out to do this job, and it seems like the goals of both Amy and Mav Gumby are more exploratory and research based. So it seems like maybe some perks that would lend itself well to that would make more sense than, for example, well-armed or fighter craft.
Well-armed or fighter craft.
Those seem to be less relevant to what our team is probably doing.
I think if we're venturing out into the world, it would make sense to have some good sensors on board to kind of figure out where we're going and what we might be running into, where we want to explore.
Mm-hmm. I feel
Okay.
that.
Amy, do you have thoughts on what you want the strength of your ship to be?
No.
So you're fine with it being well armed, is what you're saying?
No.
Oh, so you have an opinion.
I just feel like the crew knows me. They know what I want. I trust them.
Mav Gumby has never met Amy outside of this encounter.
Outside of this encounter. Okay, so we're going with superior sensors, and what's the other one?
Maybe fast, so that it can traverse, the depths of space more efficiently.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, and then we need to pick one problem, which can be a fuel hog, which means it always needs energy crystals. Only 1 medical pod, which is currently being taken up by Captain Darcy, unfortunately, who actually owns the ship. Horrible circuit breakers, which means in battle, the consoles tend to explode on the bridge. And a grim reputation, which means that something bad happened on this ship in the past, and not really sure what happened or if anyone made it out alive.
Amy, what do you think?
I think that you should not have asked me the question first. Because I'm really just here for the ride. But
Which one of these things do you think would make the ride more fun?
well, can you reread them?
Yeah. Fuel hog, only 1 medical pod, horrible circuit breakers, or a grim reputation.
Let's do the medical pod because I feel like we won't need it.
Oh,
That is some confidence.
But my fellow crew members have reacted negatively to that, so maybe we should continue to discuss it.
I think that's a good choice.
Spud, you got any thoughts with medical pod? Are you cool with it?
As a robot, I think that Spud isn't super concerned with the medical pod situation.
Yeah, so you're fine.
So that's great.
I love it. All right. Perfect. So the way the game works, like I said before, you're rolling a d6, you're rolling lasers or feelings. If you when you were making your character, you decide whether you are more lasers or more feelings, and when you take an action, you roll a d6 to determine the outcomes. If you're doing a laser thing, then you want to roll below the number that you chose earlier. And if you're doing a feelings thing, you want to roll over the number that you chose earlier. None of it.
What you said with lasers or feelings, the action?
I mean, I get to decide if it's lasers or feelings, but if you feel like I misconstrued the action, you can argue against me.
Okay.
I am not inflexible in that.
Sounds good.
If none of your dice succeed, then that means everything goes wrong. I get to say how things get worse. If one die succeeds, you barely manage to do it, and I get to inflict a complication, a harm, or a cost. If you are prepared for the action you're going to take, you can roll 2 dice. And if both of them succeed, you get to you do it really well. It's a good job. And if you're an expert in what you're trying to do, you can roll 3 dice. If all 3 of them succeed, you get a critical success. I tell you some extra effect that you get. And the final thing is, if you roll your number exactly, then you have what's called laser feelings. And that means you get a special insight into what's going on. You get to ask me one question and I'll answer it honestly. Some questions the game recommends are, what are they really feeling? Who's behind this? How could I get them to blank? What should I be on the lookout for? Anything that really would help you in that situation. And that obviously counts as a success. And the last thing I'll say is you can also help your fellow teammates do something. All you have to say is how you're helping them do this. Make a justification for that the thing is actually helpful. And then you can give them +1 d6. Yeah.
Cool.
So let's jump into lasers and feelings. Sorry, I have to change the name of something really quick. No, I don't have to change it. Okay. We join our adventurers aboard the Interstellar Indigo Vindicator, a fast, not necessarily a fighter ship, but definitely a scout ship that's a part of the consortium of planets. They're generally against danger is what the consortium's for. Underneath the name Interstellar Indigo Vindicator is emblazoned the hashtag no fires. According to the rules, our players need to choose. Nope, never mind. I wrote that earlier. The Interstellar Indigo Vindicator has just left the planet Cloy, home to the Void Cult. The Void Cultists believe that when the universe came into being, the divide between reality and not reality was cosmically sealed by a set of 3 crystals known as the Void Crystals. If someone were to wield all 3, they could theoretically tear a hole in the fabric of reality. Time would begin to rapidly accelerate. Mass would ebb and flow like the tide. The frictionless void of space would begin to rub travelers the wrong way, and life as we know it would cease to exist. How are y'all feeling about having one of these crystals aboard your ship?
Whoa.
I am excited. I want to go find the other ones.
Well, the task you've been given, the thing you are being paid to do, is to transport these crystals to a new planet, Blanca, which is where the new Void Cult headquarters is being set up. So they're basically just getting ready for you to be there. They put the crystals on different ships in order to keep them safe, so that way none of them will be together, and they didn't accidentally create, a huge problem, as would be the case. So you guys are carrying some pretty precious cargo on your way to Blanco. It's going to be about a day's journey. Okay. If there's anything in particular you'd like to do over the course of this day, that's totally fine. Just tell me. But basically, I want you to tell me how you are preparing the ship to not get attacked.
So our job is to deliver the crystal to the Void Cult who wish to use it to enact catastrophic, cataclysmic events.
Oh, no. They keep it safe.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry. The Void Cult they're the protectors of the crystal.
Oh,
I
okay.
see. You say the word cult and there's negative associations.
Yeah, it sounds like a negative thing most of the time, but not in Laser and Feelings.
Cool.
So I need everyone to give me one thing that they're going to do in order to keep the ship safe from people over the course of this next day's journey. Let's start with Ben. You got an idea of something you want to do to try to keep the ship safe? This can be, anything really. Keep the crew well fed for all I know.
I am just really concerned with our journey out into this deep space. And I am going to go look upon our scanners and just kind of make sure everything is in working order as far as like being able to detect anything that might be on the horizon.
All right. We're going to call that a laser roll to keep an eye on the scanners.
Okay.
You're an explorer, so I'm going to say that this is probably something that you're preparing to do it. So I'm going to say this is something that you are an expert in and also preparing to do. So I'll give you 3 dice to roll this with.
Okay.
So if you want to roll 3d6 for me, remind me what your guys' numbers are too. Sorry, I didn't write it down.
Well, what's the difference between low and high? Because I'm feelings.
Right. So if
So I'm a 2?
the lower the number means you're better at feelings.
Okay. So I'm a 2.
You're a 2.
You went full 2.
Full 2. Spud,
Spud's full 5.
you're full.
He's all lasers.
You're all lasers. And Amy,
I am like right in the middle, 3.
3. Perfect. Just ever so slightly feelings.
Yeah, just a hint.
Just a hint. I love it. Okay. Mav, do you want to roll me a lasers roll?
I'd love to.
Which means you need to roll under your number 2. You got 3 dice though.
3 dice. Okay. Rolling. 2, 2, 3.
Whoa!
All right. Well, hey, that's a success. You rolled 2 dice in it. There's not even a negative thing that happens. You are watching those scanners like a hawk. Anything comes into your guys' radar, sonar. I don't know what they use to track things in space. But anything.
Did he get laser feelings?
Oh, he did get laser feeling. Yeah. Yeah. So you can ask me a question about what's going on if you want.
I want to know: are these cult people? Do we trust them? Like, are they up to good deeds, or is there something going on here?
That's a very good question. I would say that there is an air of entrepreneurship about them that seems a little fishy, but you also know that the consortium trusts them to keep the crystals safe. So even though the way they go about it may be a little, generally speaking, we trust them to keep it safe. Is that a clear enough answer? I'm supposed to give it fairly clear.
Yeah, that's clear. It sounds like it's still like it's a little hairy. We don't know.
What I would say is,
but maybe we're not as sure about them as like.
I would have some skepticism, but on the whole, you trust them.
Okay.
Between them and other people, you definitely trust them.
All right.
Adam, is it safe to say that the scanners would be located in like the cockpit?
I'm going to say they're on the bridge.
Okay.
I'm going to give the Indigo, or the Interstellar Indigo Vindicator a fairly robust bridge, not unlike Star Trek, but smaller for sure. It should have been called Planet Trek. Let's be honest. Then you go to a single star.
Would Spud have noticed Moff Gumby fiddling with the scanners?
For sure, he would have noticed it.
Okay, when Moff Gumby starts fiddling with the scanners, Spud whips around in his chair and says, "Hello, Mauve Gumby. Please, no need for you to interfere with the scanners. They have been calculated to perfection. Please do not touch the scanners. Thank you."
I rebuttal?
Yeah, you can respond.
We're role playing now, Ben.
Listen here, Spud. Listen here. I'm a bit of an explorer here, and I think it's best that I feel a little more comfortable if I look at the scanners here. I think I want to know what's going on. I'm pretty experienced in this, so don't you worry about your calculations.
I have been on many exploratory missions with many other fleshly beings, and most of the time they are dead. Please do not touch my scanners. End submission. He turns back around and pilots the ship.
Who invited this hunk of bull?
Amy, what is one thing you would like to do to keep the ship safe over this day's journey to Blanco?
I am researching the local customs and cultures so that when we encounter new beings, we can interact with them in respectful ways that promote diplomacy throughout the galaxy.
What an Amy thing to do.
Thank you.
Love it. Researching local customs, so you are ready when y'all get there. I mean, this is a lazy feelings. This is my issue with this, is because it's technically research, which feels like it should be lasers, but it is also diplomacy. So this is my question for you, Amy. Do you feel this is more lasers or feelings?
I also feel like it is both. You know, the world is not black and white, nor is the galaxy. So I think this will be a lasers task, but when I use this research, it'll become a feelings task.
I think that's fair. I think that's totally fair. Okay. So you want to do, and you're a doctor. I mean, this is what you are skilled for. I'm going to give you 3 dice to do this because, you got time to do it too. So you got 3 dice to roll a lasers roll, which means you want to roll under your number.
Okay. So I want a 1 or a 2?
Yes. Or a 3 if you want laser feelings.
Okay. I got a 1, a 2, and a 5.
All right, perfect. Hey, that's a success. So when it comes time to it, and I want you to remember this, I'll try my best to remember it. But at some point in time, if it comes up that this research will be useful, which I'm sure it will, remind me and you'll get an extra dice on that.
Okay.
Perfect. And Spud, what are you doing to keep the ship extra safe? I mean, I know you are our pilot, but something in particular that you're doing.
Yes, Spud has calculated the route that is the perfect balance between efficient and clear of all major commuter airways to keep him out of the zones that are often pillaged by space pirates, but without sacrificing too much time. So his act of keeping the ship safe is piloting the ship along the mathematically perfect route.
Perfect. Hit me. I mean, that's a lasers roll if there ever was a lasers roll, right? Like,
I'd say so.
Yeah, hit me with that with the 3 dice, because you're a pilot. Even this is what you do.
This is my whole thing. Oh my god. I got 2 6s and a 1. That was really close.
So you barely manage it.
Yeah.
About halfway through your journey, suddenly Mauve Gumby notices on the edge of one of his scanners the slightest blip. About as you notice it, you realize that this blip is a ship and it is moving very, very quickly towards you. What do you do? How do you respond to this sudden ship that comes out of nowhere?
Guys, I think we should take a look at the scanner over here.
What did I say, Moff Gumby, about the scanners? There is no chance that it is a mathematical improbability, in fact, a mathematical impossibility that there is a ship in the vicinity of our ship.
Well, you hunk of bolts, what's this dot flying over towards us on the screen then?
You have tampered with the scanners with your fleshy, gross hands.
As you guys are arguing over this, you notice, or at least Mav Gumby notices. I assume that Amy notices too, as she's not arguing. And are you engaged in looking at the scanner, Amy, or are we?
I am observing everything that is happening.
Okay, so I'm going to say that Amy notices. At the very least, Amy notices this ship is moving much faster than you are and headed straight towards you. Suddenly, you all hear the noise over the ship loudspeakers that someone is trying to engage your communicators.
Can I just really quickly, not to, pardon me, not to take us off the rail here, but I just want to make a note about the Spud models. Something that everybody in this universe would know because this is a popular model. This particular Spud unit is pretty headstrong and irreverent, but everyone would know also that at the command, "Hey Spud," it has to like listen to your command, much like any other home AI device. So just a thing about Spud that people would know
that Amy and Mav Gumby should keep in mind.
Right.
Noted.
Yeah. So the comms come on and you're getting a comms request. Who is our captain is out of commission. Who's responsible for comms?
Spud smashes the communicator button. What is your business with this ship? This is Spud 16. Please state your business. Over.
Yeah, we're gonna need you to turn off your engines over here. We're gonna need to board you real quick and just make sure all your papers are checking out.
Our captain has been incapacitated. All of the papers are with him. You will find nothing here of value to you.
Are you saying y'all don't have your papers here?
Mav Gumby, please supply him with the papers.
Is Mav Gumby your captain?
Mav Gumby is certainly not a captain.
Who am I speaking with right now?
This is Spud 16.
Hey, please, Spud, turn it over to Mav Gumby.
Please continue your communications with Mav Gumby. Thank you.
Hey, this is Mav Gumby here.
Yeah, we're gonna need you to turn off your engine so we can check y'all papers.
I will not turn off the engines. Thank you.
Hey, Spud, let the man talk.
We're gonna need you
talk.
Who am I speaking with here?
You're speaking with officer Sundial.
Did you say Sandile?
That's my mama given name. Sandile.
That's a Pokemon. Did you know that?
No, I don't know what a Pokemon is, but
I put my hand over the microphone, covered up, and I turn to my cohort here and I say, "Guys, I don't trust this person. This seems a little fishy to me. I think we should make a run for it."
You have you have to the count of one to turn off your engines and comply. Otherwise, we will open fire.
Spud, punch it.
One. And right as
I am going to punch it, but it is not because you have told me to. I too want to punch it, and he punches it.
So right as you guys are trying to punch it, they begin to open fire, which means I want a pilot's roll. I guess what do we want to call it? Evasive maneuvers roll?
Sure.
Does that feel good?
Sure.
This is This feels like a feelings thing to me.
I would argue that this sort of thing for Spud, though it is a little bit more spontaneous, is still something that's very mathematical and calculated in his head.
I think just because he's a robot doesn't mean we can make all his rolls lasers.
No, I think he has feelings things too, but I think that he's like initiating, maneuver mode.
Okay, I'll let you roll it as lasers, but you only get one die.
That's fair. This is on the seat of our pants here.
All right. Oh my god, it's another 6.
Okay. So you go to punch it, and right as you go to punch it, the ship that's been hailing you fires a photon blast at you, hitting one of your engines pretty much dead on, which is going to stall you in space for at least the next couple hours. It's not unfixable, but I mean, you're pretty much space garbage at this point for the next few hours until that gets fixed by the nanobots that rebuild the ship for you. As you guys are floating in space, you suddenly feel a jolt as a tractor beam latches onto you guys and starts pulling you towards the ship that was pursuing you. Once it gets close enough, a docking arm shoots out from it and attaches itself to your guys' door. What do we do? Because the door is going to be locked on your end. They're going to get through eventually. The question is, do you guys surrender, or do we do something to stop them? Amy, how do you feel about what's happened so far?
It's a bit of a bummer, but all part of the journey. And so I am interested in opening a line of communication with this spaceship that has latched onto us.
Okay, so you want to hail the comms. You don't want to open the door, but you want to hail them on the comms.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else?
I think that we should fight for diplomacy now. Yeah, we should.
Spud begins walking towards the door.
What you doing, Spud?
It seems as though this situation is no longer within your control.
Within whose control?
Yours. Ours.
Where are you going?
My calculations suggest that our best chance of survival is to let them in and let them have everything they want, and they will let us live, or at least they will let me live, because I have not a flesh being.
Gumby?
I think Spud's the one that got us in this mess with this poor piloting.
It is mathematically impossible for me to have maneuvered incorrectly. It is your fault, Moff Gumby, for touching my scanners.
Well, here we are now, Spud.
If you wish to begin communication with them, please begin it now.
I think we should talk with these people and figure out what they want. We don't know what they know. They don't know if they know who we are. We should try and feel them out.
Okay. So are we going to open a hailing frequency?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys open up your hailing frequency, and after a few minutes, not a few minutes, but like after about a minute, so it takes some time, you hear over the comms a familiar voice say, yeah, are you guys going to open the door for us now, or... Hello, anybody there?
Hello, this is Spud 16. I will open the door.
That sounds great, Spud. You don't need to hail us to do that. If you just want to open the door, you can just open up the door right there. That's fine.
Spud won't open the door.
And who might I be talking to right now? I recognize Spud. I recognize this Mauve Gumby character. I don't recognize your voice though.
This is Amy, the third member of the crew.
Amy, all right. Would you mind opening the door for us?
Unknown assailant, please note that I do not consider myself a member of this crew, but rather a hired hand.
Pipe down.
Who am I speaking with?
Yeah, this is Officer Sandile.
What ship are you on?
We're on the consortium World Police
World Police?
cruiser.
Which galaxy are you from?
Right? We're from we're a consortium ship, so we're from all the galaxies.
And who gives you jurisdiction over our ship?
The consortium gives me jurisdiction over your ship to we're monitoring these spaceways. There's been a lot of pirate activity, and we're just making sure that y'all are legit. I just want some papers. I don't need anything else from y'all.
Why did you stop our ship?
Well, the path that you guys took is a pretty common smuggler's path. It's just out of the way of some of the more common pirates over there, and it's a pretty quick path all the way to Blanco is what I was guessing based off y'all's trajectory. So I'm just making sure y'all aren't pirates.
Well, we're not. Did we break any traffic regulations?
Y'all were going a little bit fast out there. I mean, it was you're clipping along about 2-3 times the speed of light, but I mean, it's I'll let it slide as long as your papers clear. I just need to come inside and see them.
You want access to our ship?
I mean, we're going to get access to your ship. It's just a matter of whether you grant it to us or not. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think we're going to grant access, and without a warrant, I don't think you can board the ship.
Oh, we can do whatever we like. We're part of the consortium of worlds.
While this is going on, Mauve Gumby has kind of slipped off into the background, and he's been kind of trying to tinker with the parts that are broken in the ship, and he's been trying to kind of fix it and get this show on the road.
Okay. Do you want to give us this is
what was the part?
So they hit one of the engines, which means that something is broken inside there. One of the reactor isn't functioning correctly, basically. There are nano robots that are working to fix it, but it's going to take a couple of hours. If you want to help, we can try to speed that up.
As an explorer, Mauve Gumby's been on quite a few ships in his day, and he's seen a lot of different models, and he is going to go down to the belly of the ship where the engine is, and he's kind of just tinkering along with the robots to kind of get the engine back into place.
Okay. So this is going to be a lasers roll. I mean, this is very technology based. I don't know that I buy that you should have more than one dice for this, just because you're an explorer.
Yeah, and as being an explorer, you have to be on a lot of different ships, and as you go through the worlds.
Oh, I don't feel like I should give it to you. I feel like it's too generous, but I'll give it to you. I'll give you 2 dice.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 dice for a lasers roll.
4 and 4.
That's over your numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to take like 4 hours now. It was only going to take 2, but it's going to take like 4 hours for the robots to fix it.
Wow.
And while Mauve Gumby was doing that, Spud 16 went to go get the papers that are being asked for.
Okay. So currently we have Amy. I want you to give me a diplomacy roll over what's happening right here. I mean, this is through and through. You're trying to just argue that they don't have jurisdiction and talk them out of this, right?
I'm saying that without a warrant to board the ship, they cannot board the ship.
Okay. So I want you to give me a feelings roll. I'm going to give you 2 dice on this. This feels like, I don't know. Doesn't feel like an expert, but it felt like you came in there hot and ready. So like a Little Caesar's pizza.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm rolling. You said this is a feelings
roll. Yeah. So you're trying to roll over your number. You got 2 dice to do it.
Okay.
So in this, are we establishing that the laws of space are the same as like America?
That's just like a
Or
general.
is this just one?
Like,
I mean, this is the thing though. It's not a matter of whether that's actually the law or not. This is more a matter of whether Amy convinces them that this is the law or not.
I rolled a 4 and a 5.
Which is over your feelings, am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So as you say that, I mean, it causes them to stumble, and the comms, the person on the comm says, "Oh, you're gonna have to give me a second here to reevaluate this, and give me a second." Hey, yeah, we're just gonna have to blast a hole in the side of the ship, and they don't believe I'm with the consortium. I told you this plan wouldn't work. This was a dumb plan. We're just after the friggin' crystal. Why do we have to lie?
Excuse me, unknown assailant. Your comm line is still open.
Oh, and then the comms go dead. As you guys are right after that, a few minutes after that, you hear a drill on the other side of your guys' hatch door. They are starting to make their way in. What are we doing? Spud, you went to go get the whatchamacallit, the papers, right?
Yeah.
Now what are we doing with new information?
Excuse me, fellow inhabitants of the ship. My deductive reasoning skills have led me to infer that they indeed are not with the consortium, but in fact they are trying to board our ship and steal the crystal which we have been tasked to deliver to Blanca. But
Thanks,
you,
Bud.
fleshly fools, will never have known that had I not shared it with you. We should leave.
What's the plan? So currently you guys are attached to this ship, this assailant ship, via a docking arm. There's not a lot of options to detach yourself from it inside the ship. You could always take a spacewalk and try to cut it off, but that offers its own dangers. You could also try to fight them off. I mean, you don't know how many there are. You know there are at least 2, I guess, but and I mean, if there's a third option that I don't see, which I mean, there might be. I am not all knowing, although I am the GM. What do you want to do, Ben? What are we feeling? Sorry, Moth.
I feel like we need to hide this crystal, and I think we're toast right now. I think we're not getting away. I think we are gonna have to try and sneak onto their ship and blend in as part of their crew.
Do a stormtroopers on the Death Star maneuver.
Yeah.
That's actually what it's known, and that's what it's known by in this galaxy.
Aren't you a little mauve to be a stormtrooper?
We don't know what they look like. They could look like both of us. They could all be mauve. For all we know.
That was an incredible joke. I just want you
That
guys
was
to
such a
recognize
good
it. Thank you.
Okay. So Mav wants to sneak aboard the ship somehow. Amy, what are we feeling?
While Mav and Spud were having another spat, I went to the lookout window, and because we're so close, I could see into the other ship, and I recognized the home planet of the crew, and I think we can blend in.
Okay, so you go to the window, you look at the into the other ship just to see what you're dealing with, which is a good move because at this point you really have no idea. And what you see is it's actually a consortium of different races. There's not any one dominant race that you see over there. There are obviously androids, as there are on all spacecraft. There are some humanoid figures. There is you don't see any Gumbies, but I mean, it's a bigger ship than your guys' is. So I mean, it could just be that they don't know. I mean, that's an easy thing to do. How are we going to sneak onto this ship?
Oh, pardon. I think that the best course of action would be to actually open up the door.
Before
And-
they.
Yeah, and maybe like catch them by surprise since they're trying to drill in now. Open up the door, maybe incapacitate that first lad,
Steal their,
and
steal
then
their
sneak in.
garments.
Yeah,
Put them on. Blend in.
that's right.
They won't fit you.
Well, no. So what?
Malleable. I will fit into anything.
That's a great point.
Might all fit in anything. Okay, perfect. So, are we all gathering at the door to participate in this? What's the setup?
Listen, other inhabitants of this ship, they will not trust you because you have proven to be untrustworthy on the communication device. However, they will trust me because I have been upstart and upstanding. So I will open the door and present them the papers, at which point I will be allowed access, and then you will come in and attack. I am beginning the plan now.
All right, Amy. I think we need to do something with this egg before we open this door. We need to find out. Come with
The
a
crystal.
We need to do something with this crystal. We need to hide it some way.
I can put it in my satchel.
Okay. Do you have a special satchel? Like, what's it?
It says books in it.
Is there like a secret compartment that no one knows?
Yeah, one of the books has a carved out secret compartment.
Perfect.
Okay.
Just the size of a crystal.
Yes.
Roll for it.
Ideal.
Yeah. This is the weird thing about this game as compared to D&D is it's harder to make like these random rolls like this work. I feel inclined just to give it to you. I love this idea.
Yeah, we need to hide this crystal. But I think we should put a decoy. I think we should try and make a decoy and put it where the crystal was.
Okay.
In like a semi hidden place. Do the old switcheroo. So it's like kind of hidden, but easy enough for them to find, but it's not the real crystal.
Okay. Who's in charge of making the decoy crystal?
I think since Amy is such a good researcher, maybe she's come across ways to kind of replicate this crystal, at least the way it looks.
Okay. You want to give me is this something you've researched, Amy? Are we gonna we said it earlier that you had researched the customs and all these things, which would include our void cultists. So this is gonna be a feelings roll. I'm gonna give you 3 dice for this because you're basically a crystal expert. You are the ship's crystal expert.
Ready?
Ready.
I got a 6 and a 1 and a 1.
We're rolling badly.
Okay.
I rolled a 6, so I'm confused. You have to explain the rules.
Yeah. So if one die succeeds, that means you barely managed to do it. That means I add a complication, a harm, or a cost.
Okay.
And so the cost to this is going to be that they've gotten so far into the door that they can see inside now.
Cool.
Which is just going to make opening that door slightly more complicated and incapacitating people, I guess. Or less complicated. I might not be good at this. So
the pseudo crystal is made.
The pseudo crystal has been made. I'm gonna count that in the hiding roll too.
Okay.
We're not putting it just on a pedestal somewhere, but where is our idea?
I think it should be. No.
Oh, where should it be?
What did you say?
I said in the glove box.
Oh, that's funny. I was just going to say in the pocket of the captain that's in the medical room, but the glove box is more absurd and funny.
Spud, which one are we doing?
I think that it makes perfect sense that you ignorant, foolish flesh beings would put it in a glove box. So they will believe the glove box.
I love it. All right, so it goes in the glove box.
Let me remove my robot stash from the glove box. And he pulls out a bunch of like robot candy. It's like bolts and
bowl candy
and washers and stuff. This right here is some good stuff.
Hey, Spud, you need to cut back on the iron.
Don't you ever tell me how to live my life, you flesh bag. They are good for my soul.
Mom Gumby rolls his eyes, turns away. Eyes roll back into his head.
At this point, Spud goes and pushes the button to open the door.
Okay.
I threw the crystal in the glove box really quickly that I made.
Yeah. So the crystal goes in the glove box. Spud goes to open the door, which is slightly down the hall and outside of the bridge. So is Mav, are you following Spud in dealing with this door thing, or are you hanging out with Amy while she's hiding the crystal?
I am going over towards Spud, but I'm not in sight. I'm just kind of like around the corner, kind of trying to watch from a distance.
Okay. Spud, you open the door and the person operating the drill on the other side is startled. And in one motion, it drops the drill and goes to grab his gun. As he's drawing it, I'm giving you time to do an action. This is your surprise round, basically. So what do you want to do if you fail to do whatever it is you're going to do? He will shoot you.
Okay. Spud holds up the papers that he got and says, hold on, noble consortium official. I have gotten the papers which you have requested. Please check and make sure everything is in order. I have locked up the two flesh beings who are deposing you.
Roll me 2 feelings dice.
But I'm not good at that.
I know, but this is the diplomacy.
All right.
I'm giving you an extra dice for this because I mean that was a good lie. I liked it.
I got 2 5s, dude. Double
Oh!
laser feelings.
Laser feelings. What question would you like to ask?
That's a good question. I would like to ask, who is in charge of the ship?
Okay. The person operating the drill, here's what you have to say, and hesitates actually before even grabbing his variable beam phase pistol. His hand hovers over the grip, and then kind of looks at you on like cocks his head and is like, this is Zorgon's ship. You know Zorgon the Conqueror.
Of course, I have encyclopedic knowledge of the entire database of registered civilians.
Okay.
Would Zorgon like to see the papers himself?
We're not with the consortium. We're after the crystal.
Of course you are. I knew that.
Can you take me to the crystal?
Please give me access to your ship, and I will communicate with you the best way to receive the crystal. Please allow me access into your bridge. I am a noble Spud unit. You have not anything to worry about.
You can just tell me here, though.
I do not have all the information. They did not let me into the information of where the crystal is because my programming would require that I tell the truth. But if you allow me entry, then we can do a diagnostics check on the ship and find out the location of the crystal.
Wouldn't you need to run the diagnostics on the ship where the crystal is?
You foolish flesh bag! He kicks him. Kicks him very hard in the head.
Okay. I mean, you got a double 5 on that laser feelings. I'm gonna give you the knockout on that. So you knock out the drill operator, and you have some time. He never fired off any shots or anything. There's definitely going to be some people coming in a few minutes because there's no drill operating, but for the most part, you managed to do this pretty quietly. So, what is our next move, brave adventurers?
Spud turns back towards the ship and says, I have incapacitated our foe. We may now proceed.
Thanks, bud.
It is my pleasure.
Are we still trying to get on their ship?
That's the question. Are we still looking to get on the ship? Or what are we trying to do?
At this point, the ship's security systems will have been alerted to the fact that they are trying to board our ship, and if they do not succeed, somebody else will come and find out what has happened, and soon we will be outclassed. It seems our only reasonable avenue of escape is to commandeer this vessel.
Do we have any hacking abilities? Can we kind of like hack into the mainframe here and try and dislodge
That is racist. Just because I am a robot, you assume that I can hack into the mainframe.
To our doctor, our PhD. What do you have skills to offer, Spud?
I don't even know what's happening anymore. So, so it sounds like the plan is to try and commandeer the ship that has tried to board you.
Wait, I kind of like the idea of trying to figure out how to get them to just dislodge from our ship, and then we go away. If that's still an option.
But our engines are broken.
I thought this whole time they've been being fixed. We're stalling.
They're in the process of being fixed, but you still probably have another, especially after Mauve Gumby broke them, it's going to be probably another couple hours.
I thought it was a different mainframe. All the ones I've been on before.
I will say this ship that has boarded you is big enough that they probably have an escape pod that actually would have enough fuel to make it the rest of the journey here. It's a big enough ship that it can hold on to you guys, and it doesn't just have ejector pods, but has actual steerable transport pods connected to it. So if you wanted to, you could, instead of commandeering the ship, just take over one of these transport pods and try and make a break for it.
I think we have to go after one of these escape pods.
Okay.
Okay. Is anybody going to put on the drill guy's uniform?
I will. I can fit into it.
Okay. So Mob Gumby puts on the uniform of the Zorgon army.
I look down at the name badge, and what is it? What do I read?
It says
Gov Mumby.
It says Amel.
Amel. I'm Amel now. Okay.
What color is the uniform?
Your guys' uniform is blue, kind of a sky blue. The uniform of the Zorgon army is greenish brown.
Spud changes the LEDs in his eye hole lights to match the color of the Zorgon army.
Okay.
I have completed my camouflage.
The Zorgon army is also the same color as a lot of my human earth tone clothing. So I just go and change into it.
All right, perfect. So everyone is camouflaged as they begin to make their way onto this ship.
What does Moff Gumby normally wear when he's not in a...
I have a cowboy holster that I wear, and it has all kinds of like paraphernalia, like a lasso and like wrenches and things.
Wrenches?
wrenches and things. Cowboy things.
Cowboys work on a lot of cars.
Cowboy things when I'm fixing engines, when I don't get them mixed up. Just like basic adventure.
Yeah, that's good.
A pickaxe.
I have a pickaxe, a lasso, a wrench, and a fire device, some kind of light device.
Does it wait? Does it help you see or does it create fire?
It does all the above.
Okay.
It uses the energy of light to either like light areas up so I can see, or if I need to like set something on fire.
Perfect. Okay, perfect. So everyone gets camouflaged. Mob Gumby takes a solid 20 minutes just taking off his holsters.
It didn't match my belt.
While he's doing that, Spud just like nabs as much of the valuables off the ship as he can, like fit in his chassis.
Are we just gonna leave the captain?
Yeah, screw that guy.
I leave the captain a note telling him what happened.
Okay.
What if they find the note and then we'll know our plan?
XOXO.
It is a different language that only the captain, the Zorgons wouldn't know the language it's in.
A secret code.
No, it's just a different language. They just only know one language.
Okay. So you guys, all camouflaged up, begin to make your way onto the ship. You move your way onto the ramp that's attached themselves to you guys, and as you get closer to actually entering the ship, you start to hear a commotion of people coming towards you. When you get to the end of this ramp that you're on, you realize that it's basically a T. So you are the stem of the T, and the hallway in front of you goes left and right. Now, Spud would know that the escape pods are probably in the back of the ship, which would mean that you want to head right. But that also happens to be where some of the commotion is coming from. A majority of the commotion is coming from the left. Where do we go?
Fellow adventurers, if you wish to access the escape ports, they will be to our right.
Are we all following along?
Let's go. Let's commandeer these escape pods.
Perfect. Amy, we follow. Are we going right? We're gonna stick with it.
Yes.
Okay. You move right and continue to move down the hallway. As the commotion gets closer to you, what you realize is there's actually a birthday party in one of the rooms to your left. What is presumably a break room. You hear the sound of the Zorgon birthday song rising up over the air, and then as you get to that door, someone steps out and sees you three and says, "Hey, you here for the birthday?"
No.
We got cake.
I have no use for cake.
I'm not talking to you, Spuds. I'm talking to these. I don't think I've seen you guys on the ship before.
We're part of the medical unit. You would only see us if you needed us.
I get hurt a lot around here. How do you fix a broken arm?
To fix a broken arm, you put it. You fuse the bones back together.
He kind of looks you up and down. Roll me a. I don't even know what to call this, dog. This feels like feelings, right? Like this isn't in your wheelhouse.
I don't actually think I have any intent here.
I step in and I say, "Come on, Spud, quit or drop the gig. We're here for the party. Give him your present that you brought him.
That is right. Ha 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 ha. What a funny joke we have played on your birthday party, Greg.
Okay. And he looks at Amy and he's like, why did they try to give these spuds a sense of humor, huh?
Huh.
My programming suggests that you didn't think my joke was funny.
I don't know. I don't think I get the joke, but let's come on in and grab some cake. He turns around and kind of like steps through and like turns back to you guys and ushers you through. I'm going to so here's before you guys make a decision, I want Spud, I want you to roll a feelings roll. I was going to say with 1 dice, but I'm giving you an extra dice because Mauve stepped in and helped you out. And basically this is going to determine whether the person believed you or not.
Okay. Dude, 2 6s. I just keep rolling 6s. Usually that's bad for me, but in this case it's good. I'm going to refresh my Google Dice Roller.
Okay. So that's a success. So you managed to convince them that you were actually joking, just have a bad sense of humor, and are here for the party. Are you guys going to step in and risk it, or are we going to? What are we doing here?
How big is this party?
So I mean, it's not huge. Like it's probably a standard, a pretty standard like conference room. I mean, it probably holds let's say like 14 chairs normally. So there's probably like 20 people in here standing, and then you guys would make 23.
Feels risky.
Yeah.
Are there any other Spud units?
Yeah, there's actually 2 other Spud units in here. One standing in a corner on the exact opposite end of the room as the door, and then one standing about in the middle. And that one is actually cutting the cake.
I think we should just, talking to the team, I think we should just carry on. I think we should slip out.
I agree.
Spud?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we can like go towards the door.
Okay.
I think so. I'll turn to this fellow we're talking here, and I'll say, "Well, we gotta go grab our gift from the break room down the hall."
Hey, awesome! Glad you guys could stop by. What was your guys' names again?
I'm Emil.
Emil, and he says Spud, and then he points to Amy. He's like, "What was your name?"
Grace.
Grace. I love it. 3 new friends. Hey, everybody, say hi to Emil. And we got Spud. Which unit number are you, Spud?
Hello, pleased to make your acquaintance. My name is Spud. That is the security pilot utility droid, call sign 16. Spud 16. Pleased to make your acquaintance, all you flesh bags.
We got Spud 16. We got Grace over here. Everybody say, hey, they're over in the medical. Is that true? Were you actually in the medical unit, or were you? They don't like to talk much. Don't worry about it. Just say hi to them. When you see them around the ship, I'm sure they're a hell of a blast. We'll be back soon. And he says his goodbye and kind of dips away from you guys.
All right.
You guys head out the door and continue down the hallway towards the escape pod. You get you get all the way there actually before anybody actually notices that you. And right as you get to the escape pod, you hear over the intercom system a voice that says, "Hey everybody! The people that were on the ship over here that we just caught trying to get the crystal, they snuck onto our ship. Have you seen some people you don't know? One of them's definitely a Spud unit. I believe his call sign was 17. His call sign was 17. and someone named Maeve. And I didn't catch the other person's name, if I'm being honest. I think it was I think it started with an A. That's all I got. Maybe could have been Amel. Oh no, that was the drill operator. Never mind. I don't know what the third one was. But if you see someone who you don't recognize, you should detain them. Okay, that's all.
Good news, cohorts. They got my call sign wrong. They will never suspect us.
Well, let's hurry up and get on this other ship.
Let's boogie.
You guys climb. You guys climb onto the ship. It is a 2-person job to detach, and then a third robot's job in order to steer the ship. So you guys got lucky that you have the exact right number of people. I need Amy and Mauve to roll 1d6 for lasers.
Oof.
And I need Spud to roll, I'm going to say 3d6 for lasers as well.
Can do, Chief.
I rolled a 6.
Mauve? Does this mean you didn't get it?
I rolled a 6.
And
Yikes.
Spud.
I got laser feelings.
Oh, we got laser feelings. Okay. So you guys enter into the shuttle. You close the door behind you. And Amy and Mauve go to the left and the right immediately and attempt to unhook themselves using the manual release. When Spud realizes that isn't working, he engages the override release, which basically ejects the entire compartment from the ship. It's not something you normally do because it causes a lot of damage to the ship. In your guys' case, it doesn't really matter to you at the end of the day. Spud, you got laser feelings. What questions would you like to ask me?
I would like to ask. Can this escape pod reach our intended destination?
Yes. So this is a big enough ship that these escape pods are designed to be more transport vessels than escape pods. Like you're over halfway to your destination. You should be able to reach it no problem.
Okay. So we're off.
You're off and away. As you guys detach yourself from the ship, you can hear a massive as the main ship that you just detached yourself from disengages from the original interstellar indigo vindicator and turns in order to engage you guys. Spud, I think this is going to be our last roll of the night here. Either you make it or you don't. We're going to do some evasive maneuvers. Some lasers evasive maneuvers. We're going to give you 3 dice for it. 2 dice.
If only these flesh creatures were not on this escape pod with me, they would have registered that there are no life forms and not to waste their ammunition.
Spud, you're not much of a team player.
I know.
Come on, Spud! Get us out of here!
That was also a good Star Wars joke. You know that time when they R2 and C-3PO eject from the Death Star and they don't shoot it down because there were no life forms aboard that escape pod?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just wanted to call attention to it.
It's funny because you explained it. It wouldn't.
I'm rolling lasers with 2 dice.
Lasers with 2 dice.
Lasers.
A 6 and a 5. Unbelievable. So it's a mixed success.
Yeah, but you got lasers feelings on that.
Oh, you're right. I did.
Laser feelings.
I'm getting all sorts of laser feelings.
Yeah. So, you got one question to ask me.
I'm running out of ideas for things to
I know.
ask you.
What are the questions you want to know?
Why does Zorgon want this crystal?
Zorgon wants to unite the 3 crystals and tear a fabric in reality.
I should have known.
Rip a hole in reality, if you will. So some lasers get fired at you, but you actually do manage to evade them. You guys are on your way to Blanco, your final destination, and pretty much the entire way you're bobbing and weaving from this massive Zorgon army ship that's behind you. But as you guys get close enough to Blanco, a distress call that you guys have been pushing out into the world gets answered by some members of the Void cult who fly their way out and chase off the Zorkon army ship, leaving you guys free to deliver your goods and cash a massive check for delivering one of the 3 crystals to Blanco. Congratulations, you've all completed your mission. This has been Lasers and Feelings.
Yes. Despite my foolish fleshly compatriots, I have single-handedly cashed the check.
Be friends after this.
Yami was about ready to put some clay in Spud's nuts and bolts.
How do we feel? How do we feel about Lasers and Feelings? Specifically, this is about for Ben and Amy, I guess. Did we have fun? Did we enjoy it?
Yes, I had fun. I did enjoy it. It was a quick adventure, but it was good. I liked how there were like kind of predetermined roles, a predetermined like sketch to what was going on here. But I feel like we really fleshed it out.
Well, and that's the thing that makes this kind of a weird game to GM. Actually, is it does feel really on rails, which isn't a bad thing. But the problem, I guess, the thing that I made an audible about really quickly was your encounter with the Zorgon ship was supposed to set the stage for the larger adventure. I realized very quickly that would have meant multiple nights of playing this game to actually get that done. And so it just made sense to like, that's just our adventure right there. And like, it's a really fun way to, I don't know, just throw something together. Amy, I mean, how did you feel about it? I know that role-playing games aren't your bag, but
I had fun. I felt super awkward for the first 45 minutes and then had fun for the last 15.
I'll take it.
I liked that it was like sci-fi. That was like an easier like world for me to understand and to be able to like kind of play along with like the tropes of that genre. And I liked playing a human, and I would play again.
Awesome.
You heard it here first, folks. Lasers and Feelings Arc 2. Get the gang back together.
Alex, as someone who has played a fair amount of RPGs, specifically D&D, I guess, what are your thoughts and feelings on Lasers and Feelings?
I think it's a lot of fun. I like the world of the sci-fi thing. I like these shorter, kind of quick hit adventures. It's really quick to start up, and like the mechanics are like so simple that you don't get bogged down in the details of like how to make certain rolls or do certain actions. Yeah, and I think it's like a great introductory thing for people who are newer to role-playing games to get their feet wet with like how to role-play in this sort of setting. And yeah, I had a lot of fun playing Spud 16.
Well played.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Ben.
I was going to offer a critique.
Yeah.
I think just the lasers versus feelings, like every action is so binary, I thought. So I felt like my character was like the hot shot, fly by the seat of your pants, like super, and we were super feelings. So like wild, passionate action. But I feel like to do like hot shot well, also it was the actions I felt like prone to do were more of like the like firing a gun or just like going full steam ahead, which those actions seemed to fall under lasers more often. So I don't know. So I think it was kind of hard because I felt conflicted between being like just all feelings.
Yeah, I would say that this is something that makes this game really tricky to GM. Part of me wants to say that it is a really good introduction to GMing a role playing game, especially because they give you a table. Lasers and Feelings gives you a table. It says a threat, and then you roll a d6, and that determines the threat, and then wants to, and then determines what they want to do, and then or wants to So in our case, the thing that I rolled was a threat. Zorgon the Conqueror wants to steal, capture the void crystals, which will rip a hole in reality, which is a really interesting, like, inciting event, I guess. But this needs the kind of premise of the game is that it's going to be a fairly compact game in and of itself, which means that the real robustness of what that means can't be fleshed out. Like I said, I originally had something much bigger planned, and then once we started playing, I realized that that bigger thing was just going to be too much. But it also means that you can really easily fall into this thing where it's kind of a stealth mission. Like you don't get you basically get your Han Solo. You don't get your Han Solo in the cantina moment where he's in a face off against this other bounty hunter. You don't get
McClunky.
that. You're exclusively getting the Millennium Falcon getting dragged in by the tractor beam, and that's it. So, and that's partially on me, as someone who's never run this game before. That's the easy thing to roll into. But you're right. The roles are really strange because they're so binary. I mean, you're right. It's like doing something quickly, or just like I just need to do this, and doing it to technology. The question is, which one do you roll? Like, do we just go with like, well, they're doing it quickly and passionately, they're just going to go for this, so we're going to roll it as feelings, even though they're doing this to a computer? Or do we say, well, it's a computer thing, so we call it lasers?
Yeah, I think maybe that first option is the more like the easier way to
Right.
differentiate those, is like not the thing that you're doing, but like the
The
energy
intention.
with which you're doing it. Yeah. Is it calculated, or is it
Yeah.
spur of the moment?
Yeah. And that's a hard thing to, like, I mean, especially when you're in the middle of the game, that's a hard thing to keep straight and remember.
Yeah.
Especially for the GM who's trying to move the story forward. Yeah, I don't know. I think I think it's one of those games that, like, I really enjoy it. I think it's super interesting. I think it'll take several takes of it to really get it to to where I feel comfortable, and like I did a good job as a GM, kind of thing. Because this is genuinely the first time. It's the first time I've ever run Lasers and Feelings. It's the first time I think anyone here has played Lasers and Feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if it would be a little bit more suitable, because we played for like an hour. It's like an hour and a half in, but a lot of that was set up like more of like a 2 to 3 hour campaign where you could get a little bit deeper in, but still keep it relatively quick. By like the standards of most role playing campaigns.
Yeah, I just want I want a third role, I think, that's like outside of Lasers and Feelings, but it's like, I mean, because when Amy put history into the world, like, that's awesome. I love it when players do that, when they're like, I think this is what would happen or whatever. I think it's really interesting, but I also, part of me really wants a dice roll to determine like how accurate that is, basically.
Yeah.
And and it's like, if they rolled, this number, then like everything they said is lore. It's in the game. That's how it works. And if it's below this, then it's like, it's half truths, and the GM gets to decide which half is truth and which half isn't, or, like something like that. But I don't know if that makes the game better. So I don't know. Anyway, it's getting late here, so I won't hold up anymore. And I will do our little exit here. This has been Dungeon Arcade. We are a member of the Megabed Media. Just Megabed Media, right?
Yeah, the Megabed Media family of podcasts.
Family of podcasts
is a way that you could say it.
We are, if you're listening to this on a podcasting app, really appreciate it. You should rate, subscribe. You can also find us on YouTube now. I believe pretty much everything is up there. We do another podcast called Outwatch where we rewatch Survivor. We are, when this comes out, we're probably going to be starting the next season of Survivor somewhere around there. But I mean, you should go check it out. And we are always on the hunt for other podcasts. So if you have an idea for something, come talk to us and we will help you get it set up and, include it in all of this fun stuff.
Also, another relatively new entry to the Megabed Media family of podcasts is Adam will be a groomsman at Alex's wedding podcast. Really,
that is a thing.
Great stuff here.
That has 2 episodes and needs a third at some point. But turns out my creativity juices run dry pretty quickly. Anyway, my name is Adam. I've been your GM today. If we can just go around the room and give a little sign off. Let's start with Amy. Amy, how would you like to say goodbye to the world?
Goodbye.
Alex.
My calculations show that this is the best podcast episode ever.
Ben.
This is a Mob Gumby signing off.
I needed that.
And Amy, do you want to take a shot at this?
No, I was happy with mine.
All right. This has been Adam. Remember, lasers and feelings, they're both important. Bye.